The Empire's 501st Legion, nicknamed Vader's Fist, was one of the New Order's most powerful assets. While the battle-hardened rebels often dismissed many stormtroopers as plastic soldiers who relied on armor and numbers rather than skill or tact, rumor tells that news that the 501st was entering the battlefield reduced them to a grim silence. The 501st began as a brigade within the Grand Army of the Republic, a legion of clones that saw its first action at the Battle of Kamino. Fittingly, the units in this brigade were assigned to Anakin Skywalker and his then Padawan Ahsoka Tano, who would continue to operate with the 501st's Torrent Company, led by Captain Rex. Supreme Chancellor Palpatine took note of the 501st's successes, approving Skywalker's unorthodox methods and the way they were adopted by Rex and his troopers. Under Palpatine's direction, the 501st changed from a conventional unit of soldiers into something quite different, an amalgamation of select units whose troopers were given secret training and transferred to battlefields as the demands of the Clone Wars dictated. They were, in essence, the problem solvers, the men who would come into a hopeless situation and will their way to victory. Throughout the Clone Wars, Skywalker led the 501st in countless battles, many of which stand today as some of the most legendary of that long cursed war, including Christophsis, Teth, Bothui, Kel, and Kothlas, not to mention the Second Battle of Geonosis. All the while, the members of the 501st were carefully watched and tracked by Republic High Command. They were, and continue to be, the best of the best. Legion units also played a frontline role in the Outer Rim sieges, fighting at planets such as Mygeeto, Felucia, Kashyyyk, and Utapau. In the Battle of Coruscant, they defended the capital against General Grievous's daring raid, and fought gallantly, if in vain, to prevent Palpatine's kidnapping. It was the 501st that followed Vader into the Jedi Temple, in spite of heavy casualties, to conquer the so-called Rebellion. It was the 501st that, even long after the Jedi Purge, fought on, loyal to their commander, now dubbed Darth Vader. They helped reconquer the Rim, and neutralized some of the greatest threats to Imperial power, suppressing Naboo's opposition to Imperial policy, as well as the clone uprising in Kamino. The Legion's association with Vader often led to missions like tracking down Jedi, recovering the Death Star plans, storming the rebel base on Hoth, and defending the second Death Star on Endor. It isn't an overstatement to say that, without the 501st, the Empire might not have flourished as it did in its short but scintillating lifespan. Yet the glorious history of the 501st came to an end with the death of their primary patron, Emperor Palpatine. With the Sith Lord dead, the 501st morphed into mere symbolism, one of many proud Imperial traditions degraded as warlords squabbled over the Empire's leadership. Because the Legion had only rarely operated as a whole, it fragmented into individual units under the control of various leaders, and soon effectively ceased to exist. But the 501st was remembered. Their discipline, their bravery, their unquestioning loyalty in the face of impossibility, reconstituted by those such as Grand Admiral Thrawn. This was a new 501st, open to soldiers from any number of backgrounds, including non-humans. In 130 ABY, the 501st remained a name to be reckoned with, finding life again as Emperor Ronfel's personal guard. In a galaxy where war seems the only constant, where the loss of billions is buried away under the glory and celebration of victory, one could say that the 501st was an inevitability. How could such a legion not exist? How could a band of soldiers not develop that level of camaraderie, of bravery? But that kind of outlook normalizes the brutality that could have led the Jedi and the Republic to abuse generations of clones, who are human beings in their own right. In this way, the story of the 501st, of the clone soldiers, is very much a tragedy. But that doesn't mean we can't appreciate the best of the best for who they were. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.